It is 12:30 on this Thursday, the 15th of April. Welcome to Central Valley Business, brought to you by CentralValleyTalk.com. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you live from our Tower District studios. It is another beautiful day across the Central Valley. Highs will be in the 70s. We are seeing a little bit of wind out there, so be cautious of that today. We've got another great show ahead for you. Live local guests up until around 4 o'clock today, so stay with us. My first guest is one of my dentists, actually. I interviewed, actually, Christopher Shamlian about, probably 5-6 years ago. And then I moved to Oregon. And as many of you know, I returned here. Now I'm at Central Valley Talk. And Christopher's joining us via Zoom. Hey, Chris, good afternoon. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you too, Austin, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So tell me a little bit about how things have been going for you guys as local dentist pros here in the Valley during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the last year, or a little bit more than just a year, was that there was a lot of unknown early on, especially with dentistry being kind of in the spotlight for one of those facilities or businesses that could potentially be an area of transmission. The good news was science didn't show that that is the case. And as we kind of worked through it and implemented more safety protocols on top of our already stringent protocols that are called universal precautions, where we're wearing gowns, eye protection, face masks, obviously, and then the high level industry grade, sterilization that we did already. This was just a good opportunity for us to showcase how we can keep our patients safe in the midst of a pandemic. And we have been. There has not been any record of spread occurring in dental offices. And it's because both patients and staff are protected. And we have always done that. And as an emergency dental office that we've been with, my father and my sister, we're bringing on new associates as well. As we're growing, we have still provided that same service that we've been for over 40 years, helping people in a time of need. And the pandemic didn't change that much. So.
Well, I had a nightmare situation actually shortly after I first interviewed you at another station. 5-6 years ago, a wisdom tooth needed to be pulled, and you guys were fantastic. You were friendly. The office environment was relaxing, and you got to work, and the pain that I was enduring was just a nightmare, and you guys fixed it like that. That's kind of the service that I'm not alone. You guys do that for everybody.
Yeah, it's really a full service dental office, and I guess if you'd call it, our focus is emergency dentistry, but that's where just the relationship begins. I think that in your situation, without getting too much into the details, patients find themselves in situations with infections, broken teeth, general discomfort. It could be something like TMJ, or temporal mandibular joint dysfunction, is something that people there's been a lot more clenching and grinding happening nowadays as people are stressed out. We're finding a spike in that type of diagnosis. Patients are coming in with pain, ringing in the ears, jaw soreness, and actually finding that they're fracturing their teeth. But in your situation with dental pain like that, the unique situation that our office provides are for patients that may not be able to get a hold of their dentists. My father started doing emergency dentistry back in 1980 in Fresno. And one of the biggest things that he found as a need in our Fresno and Clovis communities was that patients who didn't have a regular dentist, there are some of you out there, there's a lot of you actually, don't have a place to go. They feel like they are too far gone. They are usually in pain. And it's in those situations that it's kind of frustrating. It's like, oh man, now I need to find somebody I trust, find somebody who knows what they're doing, start a relationship with them, get all of my insurance plugged in, figure out financial situations, get them to treat me, and get my pain taken care of as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so my father was able to streamline that process. And when I joined the practice, a decade ago now, I can't believe it's been that long.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, we're brought up to speed about it now. And so these patients can come in and within an hour, I'm not kidding you, I was just at the office on Sunday afternoon. Within an hour of me talking to that patient, They're in the office, had the paperwork filled out. My staff bills their insurance during the regular business hours because insurance companies are closed on the weekend. We got them treated, got them taken care of, got them out of pain. And then we do all the billing for you on the back end for your insurance company, as long as it's a PPO insurance. We're not contracted with HMOs because there's a lot of hoops to jump through with them. And we're not contracted, unfortunately, with Medi-Cal or Medicare or any of the other government supplied dental insurance companies. But if you've got a PPO and up, you get to choose your provider, and we can be one of them. And we offer everything. So if you come in with a broken tooth, you need an extraction, you want an implant, braces, anything, appliance therapy, sleep apnea. There's a lot of things in this ever evolving, ever growing dental profession. So we just want to, our goal is we strive to provide our patients with an amazing experience. And we do that through education and by training our staff well. So I'm glad that you had a good experience.
It was absolutely fantastic. Back to COVID, I want to talk about some of the misinformation regarding dentistry that's been out there this last 12, 14 months.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of the things were, is that, well, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, that with aerosols being kind of one of the major ways that they were saying early on, the CDC, was that's how the coronavirus was being spread. It put dentistry in the spotlight as aerosol producers, with a handpiece or a Cavitron unit. What they didn't take into consideration and may not is, what does the real data look like? Is this place a breeding ground for people getting infected from one patient to the other, from the patient to the doctor, from the doctor to the patient? And the studies just show that that's not the case. And we have gone above and beyond. We have HEPA, hospital-grade HEPA filtration in each one of the rooms now. We have always sanitized and sterilized all of our surfaces. All of the equipment that we have goes through a rigorous sterilization and spore testing protocol. So I think the misinformation is that it's dangerous to go out, but realize that in that environment, it's probably the safest, because these individuals, such as myself, we're trained for this, have been since day one. We know the proper way to wear a mask and not touch your face, the proper way to wear gloves and to wear gowns and hair bonnets and face shields. So this is just another day at the office for us. So we do what we can. Obviously, to your comfort level is important, but we hope that if you do a little bit of research and look for what should be there as part of the industry standard now, you'll find that we meet or exceed all of those. So our job is to make it easier for you guys.
I love that part where you're saying, you're here to serve patients, and I know that you would ask, and you have always asked, hey, do you want me to have 2 masks? Do you want, whatever, you make that person feel comfortable. And I feel like that, that story should have been out, where this is just another day at the office for you guys.
And that's what's sad about it, because, we're seeing, I mean, the numbers are really crazy. 1 out of 3 people have delayed their dental treatment.
Yeah.
1 out of 3. I mean, that was a recent study done by the American Dental Association. So if you're seeing, and this is on top of what has already been, I'm not going to jump too much into it, but people may not exactly like to go and see their dentist regularly. And that's probably because they haven't met me yet, or my father or my sister who practices there. But the reality is that there has always been this era of delaying and not really being proactive about getting in for routine maintenance and routine care. And this just made things that much worse. So there's going to be I believe there's going to be an unfortunate reality that's going to happen when people start finding out that the stuff that they've delayed on starts propagating, and they unfortunately may have bigger and more complicated and more expensive procedures waiting for them. So my advice to you guys is at least get an exam, get some x-rays done. Don't let that tooth that's been bugging you for a little bit, it's gotten a little bit worse now, don't let it go off. Don't postpone it, because it's always going to get worse, and it's always going to get more expensive. And I'd rather see you earlier than later, honestly.
What else are you guys working on now post COVID? We're not completely there yet, but with the vaccines out and numbers continuing to drop, what's kind of the future for you guys?
So future of us is we're basically going to keep the same armamentarium and infection control protocols in place in regards to HEPA filtration. There are things that we've done with our scheduling to just kind of give a little bit more breathing room in regards to patients passing by one another and just how full the office is. We've kind of accommodated a little bit by extending our hours, but the good news is that we're still here. We're still providing comprehensive dentistry, everything from cosmetic to restorative to appliance therapy. We're here. And it's because we want to make that outing as fruitful as possible for that patient. If they go out and they say, well, I need to get this done, the frustration sometimes may be is they got to jump from office to office to office, from specialty to specialty. Now, in certain situations, that may be necessary. But if majority of the work can be done by a well-trained, comprehensive general dentist, why not? And this is where everything begins with us in that relationship. And then from there, hopefully we can provide everything that you need. So.
Very good, very good. We've got about a minute left. People can learn more at ShamlianFamilyDental.com. And then what's your number?
Right. Yeah, so we have 2 locations. Our emergency office is dentistry 24 hours. That's 24hrs.com. You can search us online. Our phone number there is 559-438-4646. And then our PPO office is the one behind me, which is Shamlian Family Dental. That's our satellite office. So you can see it there. Our phone number is there is 559-438-5678 or ShamlianFamilyDental.com.
All right, very good. Chris, great to see you again.
Great to see you too. I'll see you soon.
It's been a long time. Yeah, come back anytime, okay?
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Take care, awesome.
Thanks, Chris. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with more live local guests coming up next.